Now, hello. We sort of have. I had this idea that while you walked in, there'd be the video playing, and I wouldn't have to show it during my talk. And now I'm not going to. I haven't got time to show it. So, there's a hack event. That's what we do. Today I am going to talk a little. My talk is about community is king, and a lot of the ideas I've talked about here have actually been covered quite extensively already. And perhaps we'll talk about it in a more application level. So Mike's covered a lot of these ideas about how he wants Hackcon to work, and it was mentioned. Scott mentioned it in his talk as well, and it sounds like for the Philips, the sort of high-tech campus have a lot of these ideas as well. Community is king, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how important community building is in a hack event, and how we can things we can change about how the hack event is run, or introduce about how the hack event is run, that will encourage community building and allow people to get a bit more out of the events that they attend. So I appreciate you. It's just after lunch, and so I'm going straight into it. But I also have a full stomach, so I'm kind of reeling from that a little bit. I just ate like a chocolate thing. There's a lot of sugar in there, so I'm like but pretty soon I'm going to be like. So just be ready for that. I might call someone up just to take over while I have a little nap. So today we are going to cover a very brief introduction about what I do and what Tech Nottingham and Hack24 and all of that is, and where this sort of idea comes from, and why do people go to a hackathon. We're going to have a look at that with some help from you, obviously, because you know this, not me. How community building is important, and what the ingredients are of community building. So what's the sort of theory behind it, and then I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to. One of the things I don't really want to do with this talk is say, you know, you have to do this. You should be doing this. No, not necessarily. All I'm going to do is say, here's some stuff. This is how we sort of think about community building and how we think about our hack event, and these are some things that have worked for us, and you can pick and choose what you want from that. I'm not going to be preachy. The diversity of hacks and hack events is part of what makes what we do really great and really interesting and refreshing. So I'm not looking to create clones here of Hack24. And so yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some stuff that worked for us, and you can like, yeah, okay, well that's rubbish, that's fine. So I am Andrew Seward. You can follow me at Mr. Andrew on Twitter, or like I'm here, so you can come and talk to me, and I definitely want to talk to you. So like any of you want to talk to me, don't feel like there's a barrier here, or maybe I've got like a grumpy face and you don't want to come and talk to me. Don't be fooled by that. That's just my face. Just come up to me and say hello, and I would love to talk to you about hackathons or whatever. I'm interested, so please do. So I run Tech Nottingham. That's our new logo. If any of you got stickers with the old logo, they're out of date and we haven't printed any new ones yet. That's hot off the press. I got this from the designer the other day. It's only slightly different from the old logo. So, Hack24 is something that, as part of Tech Nottingham, we organise, and I also work with Chronify. I'm a product manager at Chronify. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Tech Nottingham very briefly. So our aim is to make Nottingham a better place to live and work in technology. So we do that in a few different ways. We just want to make Nottingham have a tech community that's really great and inclusive, and it's going quite well. So when I first came to Nottingham, there really wasn't anything, there wasn't any kind of cohesive community. This is about 2011, and so we were involved in I sort of took over an event called Geek Up Nottingham from my friend Gemma, who runs Hack Manchester, and there was, when I took over it, all of the goodwill and trust that everyone had in Gemma they didn't know who this new guy was, and I took over and there was just 8 of us in a pub, and there weren't many monthly tech events, but so we just kind of plugged away and grew this event, and now we have a monthly event that called Tech Nottingham, a monthly meetup that attracts about 80 people a month. And in Nottingham in general, there's now about 20 free monthly events you can attend, and there's a very cohesive a supportive community. It's going very well. This room is infested with the Nottingham tech community. It's a bit like, you know, in London how you're like never more than 2 meters from a rat. In this room, you're never more than 2 feet from someone who's been influenced or is a part of the Nottingham tech communities. They're around. There's one. There's one there. Oh, terrible. Yeah, it's great. I'm very proud of what the Nottingham tech community has achieved, and Tech Nottingham is a part of that. So we have a monthly tech event. There's it happening there, and we have an annual Christmas party where we get all the free monthly events together, and we go and you know, mess around. This is at the National Video Game Arcade in Nottingham. In Nottingham, we have like a video games museum, which is really cool, and they've got all cool stuff. So we have a party there. Look, there's Luke. Anyway, and we have an online community on Slack that's very popular and is always interesting and fun. And then we do Hack24, which is our annual coding competition. It is held here at the Nottingham Council House, which is this massive, beautiful, Grade 1 listed building, which does not have inbuilt Wi-Fi. We have to bring that in. So you don't know how hard this was, getting in this wonderful, absolutely beautiful place, but a Grade 1 listed building and saying you want to hack in there all night and just be, look, we need to come and go all night. They're going to hack. That caused a lot of problems. But we get the backing of the City Council. They're absolutely awesome. And so we run this. This is our baby. We run it once a year. The next one's going to be on the 18th and 19th of March. And as part of Tech Nottingham, we do a lot of work with the student community. So these are all the people from the Nottingham Hack Sock who attended Hack24 in the beautiful stairwell at the Nottingham Council House. There they all are. Loads of them are here. You're around, infesting the room, and we have also a load of other students. So about a third of our event is a third of our attendees are students. So we it's a sort of a mixed hackathon. But a lot of the time, one question I get asked a lot by hackathon organisers is sort of, what's the theme of your hackathon? What's the angle? And I've thought about this. I suppose the theme of our hackathon is really about the aims of Tech Nottingham. We want to build a community. So everything we do at Tech Nottingham is based around community building. We are trying to build a community. Every aspect, every sort of decision we make within organising Hack24, it's sort of rooted in the idea that we want to build communities. So that's where this talk comes from, and we've come across some ideas that you might be interested in. So first of all, I'm going to need some help. I'm going to ask a question of you. Joe, hello. Put your phone down. God's sake, come here. I need some help. You see this?
Yeah.
Just all right. Have this pen.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to get another one just in case you don't cut the mustard. Right, so I want some answers from you. Why do people go to a hackathon? Why do people go to a hackathon? Joe, I want you to write down on the board why people go to a hackathon. Bear in mind, Joe's first week at work, everybody. Whoa! Some new colleagues are here. Well, new colleague. He's probably... That's a good one, It wasn't called out though, was it?
Sorry.
You've already... thank you. You saved him there, you know. Yeah. So John was going to be like on the GitHub Slack, like, I don't know about this new guy. Jesus Christ. So call it out. What are reasons that people will go to a hackathon? Just shout it out. All right. Maybe that's not going to work. All right. Yep. Hand up. You. Free food. Yep. Community. That helps me. Yeah. Community. Yes. New technologies. Prizes. Prizes. Brackets. Well, let's just do free as a catch-all.
Pens are all awful.
I'm sorry. Practice applying theory. Joe, find a short way of writing that. Amy. Learning a new language. Learning new language. And let's have a couple more.
New bill splitting apps.
New.
I hate you.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
New bill splitting apps.
New bill splitting apps. Am I missing something?
Making friends.
Making friends.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. Right up my alley. Go.
Getting motivated.
Getting motivated. So that'll do. So I like to think about. There's lots of things there that you've mentioned. There's loads more as well. Yeah, you got. No, stay. I was going to let you sit down because you asked. You're staying. Yeah, so there's lots of things you can do there, like write code and build things, and free swag, food, community, tech. But if you think about your hackathon as a product, like what are the and this was mentioned earlier actually very astutely, that what the sort of the thing you're competing with your product. If you think about your hackathon as a product, your competition is whatever that your hackers could be doing that weekend. So they could be off, watching Netflix, or asleep, or drinking, or whatever. So you want to know what are the unique things that your hackathon can offer that they can't get anywhere else. So, and actually like free swag is fairly astute. Yes, it's fairly unique. You can get free swag. I mean, they could look around for some free stuff. Food. You can get food in other places. You haven't got the market sewn up on food. Community, now that's what I'm largely going to come to. But new tech, they could go on a blog, they could read a blog, and they could probably and apply a lot of the ideas they've learned. You can write code anywhere. You can sit and write code right now, just in the corner over there. You could contribute to an open source project. None of those are the most unique things. Actually, the really unique things that you have to offer that they can't get anywhere else is, hey, going to a place where all these people have similar aspirations to you and similar goals to you, and really nice, and making friends. And so that aspect of getting to know people and community is really big deal. That really makes a difference. That's a really key thing that you can offer that nothing else can. And actually that kind of puts the prizes and the code a little bit lower down, because, well, you know what? They could earn some money and get a prize and buy a Raspberry Pi or whatever. That they could do that. They could do that without coming to your event. But at your event, they can do it in an environment that is totally unique. So, my point being, community is the best thing about your event. There's awesome swag from Hack24. It's the best thing. It's more valuable than the stickers and the t-shirts and the prizes and the knowledge. So I'm going to use an example. Joe, you sat down. You weren't supposed to sit down. Get the hell... God damn it. Unbelievable. Sorry about this, everyone. I didn't really warn Joe about this. But anyway, so I first met Joe about 3 or 4 years ago when I was first organising Hack24. And Joe and Tim and a couple of other people who also organised hackathons were really helpful. They shared information with me about how to put together a hackathon and lots of useful things. Joe has spoken at Nottingham out on Kafka. But no one thing that Joe's ever said to me is more valuable to me than the sum total of the value I get from knowing Joe in general. He's a lovely guy. He's going off to work for GitHub. I'm going to hit him up for some sponsorship. He tells me lots of interesting things, but no one thing he told me. Some of the stuff, not very interesting at all. I don't care. But some things are very interesting, and actually the sum total of everything he's taught me by knowing him is greater than any one aspect of that he could have offered. So if I just read a blog post by Joe, and I've read some of his blog posts, then they're very good, very interesting, but actually I just get that bit. I don't get the sum total of that relationship. So and the opportunity that you're giving your participants is to form relationships with all these people that can be similarly valuable. That they can get life-changing value from the relationships that they form at your events, and you know this, you've experienced this. So how do we optimize for that? How do we make that better? How do we optimize for community building? Look, Amy, there you are. There you are. Yeah. How do we optimize for community building? So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit faster because I'm going taking a bit too long. So, okay, so. How do you build a community? What are the ingredients? Okay, so I'm going to show you. Is anybody who's met Joe? Who hasn't met Joe? Have you met Joe?
I've met Joe.
You didn't put your hand up. You threw me right off.
You've only just met me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. You've not met Joe, have you? No. Come up here. Yeah, you're going to meet Joe. It's going to happen at some point. So, what's your name?
Cornet.
Sorry?
Cornet, yeah. Just call me Bob.
All right, Bob. So,
Not even meet him properly.
Cornet,
Bob.
Bob. This is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Joe,
Hi, Bob.
this is Bob. There you go, that's how it works. So, you get two people who don't know each other to talk. That's how you build a community. So, you got to stay, I'm sorry. You got to stay. If you get up, you're staying. So, yeah. And you can make sure the other doesn't try and sit down. Like, you can work with me on that. And I mean, good way to bond and form a relationship that can be valuable. So, how do you build a community? It's basically these two ingredients. First of all, you get two people who don't know each other to talk, and then you scale that. So you get lots of people who don't know each other to talk. So then that raises the question, like, how do you scale getting... Because obviously, I can't do that all the time, and actually, I could have done a better job. But that's going to take too long. We haven't got time for that. So how do you do that? So the tricky part with getting people to talk to each other who don't know each other is, for most people, the idea of going and talking to people you don't know is pretty terrifying and unappealing. I personally don't relish the idea of, like, oh, I'm going to go and... I'd never go to an event that said, hey, this is a networking event, and you're going to exchange business cards and you're going to get to know people. I would never go. I'll go to a hack event, but I won't go to a sort of just an exclusively community building event. I'd feel terrified. My own anxiety would cripple me away from it. Nobody likes that idea, but everybody does like having met somebody with whom they had a positive exchange. So that will, in fact, they like it so much that they'll be the top of their list of things that happened at the event. I had a really great chat with this guy. He works for here. I had a chat with Joe, who works for GitHub. He was very nice. Be nice, because it proves my point. So you've got to try and achieve that at a scale, and that's harder. So first of all, you need to minimize barriers. So that means, like, anxiety, stress, things that are going to stop people communicating. You need to minimize those. Anxiety, stress, preconceptions, imposter syndrome, the feeling that, oh, actually, that if they all found out about me, they'd run me out of here on a rail. They'd find out, they'd be outraged. So you need to sort of find ways to address those, minimize those barriers. Physical separation, lack of a means of communicating, so you give them a way of talking. And trust. So trust that the exchange is going to go well. Then next, these are 3 steps, by the way. Then you create opportunities. So you give them a means of communicating. In this case, we just put them in front of each other, and that worked really well. But you give them a means of communicating. You put them physically close to each other. That is, that is something you can uniquely do at your hack events, and you actively facilitate. You make it a part of your job, your team's job, to actively facilitate them talking to each other. And then, most importantly, the thing that you're really great at already is you give them something to talk about. You've got a hack event, so that is something to talk about. That is content. That is things that they can discuss. But what's more, there's loads of things happening in your hack event. Each one of those things that are happening, not just during your hack event, but in the run-up to your hack event, they're all opportunities. They're all reasons for people to have an exchange and have a discussion. So, information about the event, challenges and prizes, surprising things that happen at the event. So you can artificially create interesting and surprising things that are going to give people reasons to talk. And food and drink and entertainment, like all of that. They'll talk about food, drink, and entertainment like crazy. So when you're choosing your food and your drink and your entertainment, choose things that are going to encourage discussion and give people something to talk about. So. Right, I'm running a little bit late. Here are some ideas that work for us. And you don't have to do these ideas. Some of them you're not going to agree with, and that's fine. I'm not trying to create a load of Hack 24s. What I'm trying to do is just, give you some options. But what we have found is when we focused on these things, we've had excellent feedback from our community. 100%, 100% of people who attended Hack 24 in each year said that they wanted to attend again, and 100% of them said that they would recommend it to a friend. It was very popular, made people very happy and satisfied. We had loads of the specific feedback mentioned that meeting people and the community and the atmosphere of the event. So, yeah. So look, I'm going to go through a few of these. What I'm going to do though is I need one more person. Let me see. I'd like you to come up if that's all right. So, each one of you, I'm going to give you like a little thing I'm going to hang around your head. So, Joe, you're going to have minimized barriers, right? And Bob, you're going to have...
You're so well prepared.
No, you're going to have give them something to talk about. There we go. What's your name?
Nikita.
Nikita.
Yes.
Nikita, yes, he's going to organise a hack event in Eindhoven, I hear. So, there you go. You all create opportunities. Now, what I'm going to do, got some things that I could have been more prepared about, but here you go. All right, each one of you gets these. You can have a whistle. There you go. Don't worry, I washed it in the sink yesterday, but it's been at the bottom of my bag. Joe, you get a harmonica.
You gave me a cryptic clue about this yesterday.
I have not washed the harmonica, but it was in a little sleeve. And you get this bell, which I'm unable to remove from its case, but it's still operable. So, all right, so I'm going to go through some ideas, and what I want you to do is, if you feel like, hey, that's an idea that minimizes barriers, you blow on your harmonica, give it a little toot, nice and loud. Yeah, there we go. Get creative with it, don't worry. Not now. Create opportunities. Oh, that's good, I like it. Yeah, just... There you go. Give them something to talk about. That's no good. Like, if you hold the metal, it's not going to ring. You've got to hold it by the plastic at the bottom. There you go. He's Dutch, but he doesn't know how to use a bicycle bell. So... Okay, so here's some ideas that we've used. We're going to knock through them because I am over time. Slack, Twitter, and Facebook. We actively... Yes. Slack, Twitter, and vote. So we have a presence on Slack, Twitter, and Facebook. All of us do that. But what we do is we have staff actively facilitating on those platforms. Our Slack channel especially is very popular, and we do this from basically, we kind of have this theory about our event that actually the hack event isn't the hack event. The hack event is all the time leading up to the hack event, the hack event itself, and a little bit of sort of after time as well, some post-event discussion as well. So the moment anyone gets a ticket or anything like that, we're inviting them to the Slack channel, we're following them on Twitter, we're following them on Facebook. So we actively provoke and facilitate discussion. Every ticket booking triggers... Yeah, there we go. Every ticket booking triggers a Slack invite, so we get them into the Slack channels. Every sponsor and judge is on Slack from the get-go. Like, you don't get to be a part of the event unless you're going to participate. Yes. Yes. You can, yeah, just don't worry, because it might be really beautiful and musical when you do it all together. But don't try and coordinate, because that'll be awful. And all volunteers are on Slack, and it is their job. Yeah. Yes, this works so good. Yeah, and that is their job to actively facilitate and encourage discussion. So, clear code of conduct is so important. It's set out the environment you want to create. I know this is you know about codes of conduct. I'm not going to belabor this point. It's really important that your code of conduct is very clear about this is the environment, because what that does is, Joe, there you go, minimizes barriers. Make sure it covers the event and the communities around the event. So it's yes, yeah, maybe. You do get a surprising amount of discussion about the code of conduct, and it's made clear to people getting tickets, sponsoring, or engaging the event in any way. Everyone's involved. Boom! There we go. Yeah. Hype train. Right. So hype train. We hype the shit out of the event. So quite like. Yeah, so like two months ahead of the event, we've got a teaser video that we throw everywhere, and a teaser campaign, and we launch it at the Christmas party and stuff like that. And then what we see is every single thing we have to talk about the event. Everything we have is something to talk about. So we deliberately we drip feed information about the challenges and the sponsor announcements and the blog posts. Do some more dings. There you go. And prize announcements and stuff, and all of them are reason. And then we're combining that with active facilitation on Twitter and Slack, and asking people questions about it, how they feel about it, and saying, "Have you got any ideas?" That sort of thing. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it's an opportunity. And we have 2 separate limited ticket releases that that people just go nuts for, and they're tweeting and posting about how they're waiting ready to book the tickets, and then, I didn't get any tickets, but I'm going to try next time. All of that, people talk about that stuff like crazy, and they're all talking to each other. They're not talking just to us. They all really have an engagement with each other. So every bit of information is a reason to talk. We accompany it with active facilitation on Slack. Emma, who is with us at the event, but she's not very well. Feel free to message her on the Hackcon EU Slack. She's not doing very well. She's very poorly. She's got a sore throat. But she is very good at this bit, being fun and active facilitation. And she goes out and gets people talking, and yeah. So, and then it gives you a vent and a voice and a friendly, approachable personality. Woo! So that makes people have an emotional connection to the event before they've even got there. It's brilliant. HatBot, I'm going to talk a little bit about HatBot. So I'm going to show you HatBot. Hold on. HatBot is something that we created with is a Slack bot that we created with our community, and actually our community did most of the work. I did a lot of moaning and denying pull requests, that sort of thing. And basically, HatBot is how we allow people to register teams at the event and enter their teams create hacks and enter those hacks into challenges. So I'm going to show you. Yeah. So what they do is they'll be a part of our Hack24 channel. This is this year's that's already gone. But they'll be a part of this channel, and everything they do in interacting with that bot is in front of the entire audience, in front of all of their attendees. So they'll go, okay, HatBot, create team Mischief. I remember if that exists already. Welcome to Team Mischief. Oh, I love him so much. What are your prime directives? Let's find out for a sec. What? Hold on. So we also made him do all sorts of stupid stuff. So it's all reasons to I spelled it wrong. Oh, he's not going to like that. Forget that. And I'm going to say, so we also get them to set a motto as well, because that's fun. They can be creative and have fun with it, and they'll do it in front of all their colleagues. So I'll say to HatBot, our motto is, we are, what now? Come on, right, Andrew. We are the best. It's not very creative. So it is, as Mischief say, we are the best. And I'm going to say, sorry, I'm messing with your video. Oh, sorry about that. And I'm going to add Tim to my team. Where is he? Tim Fogarty to my team. Done. So Tim's now on my team. So that's how they create the teams, and they do it in front. Oh, god damn it. I'm rubbish with these mics. Oh, it's on there now. You really threw me off. Yeah, so that's how they create the teams. They do it in front of people, and you get a lot of discussion because you get all the creativity around the motto, and they come up with better ones than I came up with just now. But yeah, that's how that works. Let's get back to the presentation. So yeah, HatBot. This is all the bullet points if the demo didn't work. Oh, it's also open source. It's on GitHub. Huh? Yeah. So if you want to use HatBot and contribute, we would appreciate it. There's loads of weird things that he does sometimes. He can help us with that. So judging minimizing challenge-related stress. So because we're focused on community building, the challenge is making sure that people don't find the idea of competing too stressful. We focus Yes, minimize barriers. So we focus on minimizing the stress associated with the challenge. So making the judging process very clear. Judges and sponsors are on Slack, so you can ask them questions about the challenge when the challenge is announced. And so you can keep, and when people are postulating about different ideas, we create rooms for every challenge that you can discuss with the sponsor. They love all that as well, because they love talking about themselves, so it's great. And the judges engage with and get to know attendees. So one of the things we ask the judges to do is to be going around and talking to the different attendees and getting to know them and having a relationship with them. I want some dings. There you go. There you go. Yeah, all of those. Yeah, thank you. I don't want you getting slack. All right. We also do video submissions. This is a controversial one in this room, but we do video submissions. We don't do on-stage presentations because we worry about that affecting how people are feeling about the event. So we do video submissions. But we also have a sort of mixed mode where we have a little stage set up and we'll film you doing a stage presentation, because these pesky students come along and they moan about our video submissions, so we let them do that instead. So yeah, we don't do on-stage presentations, and then there's a video that exists, and we also offer a prize for the best video and stuff like that. So if their hack turns out not what they wanted, you can still win a prize. And then we also continually remind people the most important thing is to have fun. We reiterate that constantly. I want to talk a little bit very quickly about room layout. So this is I did have our actual layout that we submitted to the venue. It was very dry looking. So I've got this overhead shot. And the way we lay out the room is so that people are, as frequently as we can possibly make it without breaching fire regulations, they have their backs to people or very close to other people that they don't know. See, here, have a look at this Hacksock table here. They all know each other, but they don't know them and they don't know them. So we make sure that they are within chit-chat distance as close as possible to accidentally talk to people. We also do things like we'll put all the tea and all the drinks are over here. They're all in one place, so they have to walk past people, and there's the swag table there, so they have to walk past people to get to that, and increases the likelihood of conversation. Another thing we do is, so the teams are up to 4, same as you guys do. So one of the things we do is when it's meal times, the dining tables are tables of 12. They're not tables of 4. And when we're calling people up for dinner, apart from avoiding us having a queue, we'll select different tables to go to dinner. We'll say, okay, you go for dinner, you go for dinner, and you go for dinner. And they will all go for dinner at the same time, and they'll end up sitting with people that they don't order or sort of already know. Yeah, and they've got something to talk about. So they almost always sit there eating their food and discussing with each other what their hacks are and how it's going. We have a relaxation area up there, and it's stocked with sort of multiplayer games and stuff they can play, board games, video games, and sofas. So just so that when they go there, they're going to interact with some people. So we're not forcing them into a situation where they have to, but we're creating opportunities. So yeah. And it worked very well. Our staff are like the ultimate weapon in getting people to talk to each other. So this is what's happening here is a birthday party that we threw for someone we randomly selected, and we gave them a piñata and we danced around them for a bit, and then we left, and then I sort of left a bit bewildered, but it's something to talk about. So we did a bunch of stuff like that. I'm sure you guys have got lots of ideas around that sort of stuff as well. So the staff's job is like, number one, make sure everyone's happy and relaxed and talking to each other. And yeah, their job is to do that more than anything. They should be going around. And a lot of the time our staff are non-technical, but they have the sort of level of technical ability where they can say, hey, that thing you're struggling with, I know who can help you with that. This person over here. We'd rather they did that than solved it than the staff helped them solve it themselves. Actually facilitate discussions, encourage to create reasons for people to talk, and they run loads of games and stuff. We run Family Fortunes or Family Feud if you're an American, and that's a good team game that we run, and it's good and silly. So I've kind of bashed through those real quick, but I'm way over time. I'm feeling very guilty. So today we covered brief introduction, why do people go to a hackathon, how community building is important, what ingredients of community building are, ding, 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 thank you, and some stuff that worked for us, but you can use that or not use it, whatever. That's fine. I was going to say questions, but I don't think have I got time for questions?
We can do like one.
One question. Does anybody have a?
Who's got a question? I'll come to you. Minimizing barriers. I'm going to come to you. Come on. Who's got one? Oh, we got one.
So, Andrew, if there was one of those things that you found worked the most effectively out of the three that you've given these guys here, which is the most effective, would you say, for Hack 24?
Well, actually, like I think that I see them as sort of ingredients, and any one thing should cover all of those. But the most important thing is probably just get your staff, get your team to be actively facilitating, your team to actually, their biggest thing is making people have fun and be relaxed. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's making sure the brief for the team, that's the best thing you got. Because the other stuff, like, it might work, it might not, but if the team are out there doing that scales very well. So that's it. Thanks very much, everyone. I appreciate you listening.
Give Andrew a huge round of applause.